Ericka J.
Woke up feeling good, but I wanna change. I do. Nothing wrong with the old, but I need something new. Oh yeah. I jump into my car and I turn on the radio. What is this? And then I hear, let's get into in the mix, in the know, on the show you will hear new and exciting things. Yeah, everything with Miss Ericka J is a guaranteed winner. Don't touch the dial if you know what's good for you. I kept it right there. It feels so good. It was just what I was looking for.
Welcome back to In Conversations with Miss Ericka J, and this is a continuation of our O for Grace series featuring Randy Fruity Roberts.
Hey.
This guy right here in this red hat looking all dapper and slick. Y'all know how he do it.
No.
It's been a experience interviewing Fruity at this point because as long as we've been friends, since I was a teenager, there are things that I knew and there are some things that I didn't know. And one thing I say in all my interviews, I want to thank you for trusting me with your truth.
Thank you for allowing me to share.
Even in friendship, sometimes our friends, our family, our fans can't handle our truth. And then we are not sure who we should trust with our truth because some people can misuse and abuse our truth. But I appreciate you for trusting me, being transparent with me, and supporting the vision and the goal of this series. And just to bring you guys up to speed, the passion behind this series is the fact that I know so many people that have, because of, I'll even venture to say, because of the calling on their lives and who they are and who they shall be, their paths have gone in many directions regardless of their upbringings in church, being born on a pew. Life just takes us to a whole lot of places. And in our last interview, we dealt with his foundation in terms of him being a church kid and ultimately a choir boy. But his life, at many junctures, speaks to anything but being a choir boy. And in the last interview, we got to the meat. Once we dealt with the journey of his childhood, from childhood to his high school to his musicianship when he first recognized his gift in terms of drums and keyboard, and how poems turned into songs.
Yeah.
How he started in a secular career with his group Shane. Sisters, here's all you need.
So you need Shane, baby.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
And then Shane becoming ultimately the Choir Boys. He transitioned from living in Atlanta, then coming back to Baltimore. And the group, they all stayed together. And they transitioned together from singing secular music and opening up on secular stages for some major names to now being choir boys and being sold out for God. But there was a dark side to that whole process. And even the process with the choir boys, as Fruity has shared, that the choir boys' albums were funded with dope money. Talk about the wealth of the wicked laid up for the righteous. But there was a purpose in everything, and God had an ultimate plan, regardless of what he may have thought was the plan.
Yeah.
But the voice of God spoke to him through that whole process, and we began to dig into the core or the heart of the matter. Because even based on some of the decisions that he made, he was able to tap into a place that he was not necessarily comfortable with. He was put in a very, very compromising situation at a very, very young age, which ultimately impacted his adult life. And we're going to get back into that right now. He prefaced going into this part 2 of the series with saying that there's a core and a purpose for what we do. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. I believe that there's a reason, and there's a reason for our behavior. And I believe that at some point in time, when your behavior is one that can be negative, inappropriate, dangerous to yourself as well as others, when you have those type of behaviors, you need to address what the true problem is. And I believe that
as uncomfortable as it may be,
I believe that until we address the root, we don't understand the fruit that we bear until we really address what the root of it all stems from. And that's something that I had to go back and deal with years ago in my 30s, And so what I ended up doing, because I got to a place where I didn't know who I was. There was Randy, and then there was Fruity. The truth of the matter is, from I'll say about my teens up into my almost 40s, I lost who Randy Roberts was.
And I can remember, let me put a pin in it. I can remember at a point in time in your career where you no longer wanted to be addressed as Fruity.
Yeah.
You wanted everybody to call you Randy. And we've been calling you Fruity for 50 years.
Right.
Now you want us to forget Fruity and just call you Randy, and we didn't know why. So I guess we're embarking on what that means.
I mean, look, you got Diddy, you got Puff Daddy, you got Sean Combs. No, that's my man, one of my heroes. But I needed that for me because what was happening was there were certain characteristics that exist under Fruity. And the more that I heard, the more I was called that, the more I was
Reverting back to that.
exactly. So it was really to help me regain who Randy was and who Randy is, if you will. So I there's so much power in names. People really don't understand. There's power in names.
That's why you got to be careful what you name your kids.
Exactly.
You speak to that. That's
yes, and we can speak life and we can speak death. And the truth of the matter is, I believe in that season, because of the characteristics that Fruity was operating in, I was headed towards death, and not what it was that God had called Randy to do and to be. And so what I ended up doing, that really was for me. It really wasn't for people. I needed to be strengthened. Not only that, I forgot who Randy was. It got to a point where I literally felt like Fruity was a character. And with Fruity portrays these particular things, and he represents this and he represents that. And so when I walk out the door as Fruity. As soon as I stepped foot out the door, the world became my stage. Lights, camera, action, it comes Fruity.
Your alter ego.
Oh yeah. You know, and so a lot of people between that time period met Fruity. They didn't even know Randy. They didn't even know. First of all, Randy's not even my real first name. The truth be told, it's not even my government name, and I'm not going to reveal that unless you want to cut me a check. Hello, somebody. You know. And so even with that, you know, I had to. It really was hard, and I'm going to tell you why it was hard. I like Fruity.
Mm.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. And if I thought that God would be pleased with the bulk of Fruity, oh jeez.
That might have been his stripper name too.
Nah, we never danced. We never danced openly. We never danced.
It's so funny.
You know, but I did. You know, I started realizing that I couldn't even. It got so bad, Eve, that I realized I couldn't even answer people the way that Randy would answer.
Mm-hmm.
Because they wouldn't understand. What? So I had to create this. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not that it wasn't in me. Again, I just believe that it was my alter ego. But for a long period of time, my alter ego ran my life.
And anything you are or surrounded with or deal with almost becomes second nature to your actual being.
Yeah.
So I would venture to say that you can't always control that.
No, not true. Then how about this? I didn't even get to this part. So now I'm trying to figure out who I am. And this is what I mean by that. At this particular time, I'm 20-something years old. And I realized, how come the rest of my family doesn't have my last name? Just me, my father, and my mother. The rest of the family does not have this last name. Only to come to find out. Finally, my father said, well, you know what? We're going to have a conversation. We're going to take a trip. So my father takes me down to North Carolina to meet my blood relatives that I never knew existed. So here I'm up here raised by another group of people who I consider my family to today. Last name is different or not. That is my family. Mm-hmm. You know, not knowing that I had this other family that existed in North Carolina. Not knowing and realizing that my father basically was the product of a mistress type situation.
Interesting.
You know, and then he basically was sent here and left in Baltimore. And so another lady raised my father, who she already had 9 children of her own that she birthed. So she took on my father. He was the youngest child. Yeah. So then I had to deal with that, and I had to deal with the reality later on. Things started coming to my head, and I said, wait a minute. My mother didn't even have the same last name as everybody else on her side of the family before she married my father. Then that became a conversation.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. So there were little things that came up, and I was like, okay. So that on top of me just trying to figure it out and make a way on my own, and then dealing with the root of and then not dealing with the root of my problem at that time. I was spiraling.
So did that open up a can of worms for you? Or did you, outside of the last name thing, was there something in you that always made you feel like there was something missing or something you didn't know? Or was everything pretty normal?
Well, within my home, I was only a child. And so I had a lot of time to think and be creative and just wonder about certain things. And there were things that I had questions about, and I never asked them. There were things that I would overhear from adult conversations. There were little things that I might see and act like I didn't see them. But I kept those things bottled up to myself.
They never left. You just never dealt with them.
Yeah. I never dealt with them. And then finally I got to a place or a point where I was trying to figure, okay, you know what? Who am I? Like, really, who are you? Why have you done the things that you've done? Why do you do things that you still do? Why do you think the way that you do? Why do you process things that particular way? Why are you so angry? Why do you need some anger management exercises or therapy? Why? And so what I ended up doing, I shared before.
So at this point, the whys take you to, at this point, you're an adult.
Yeah, I'm an adult now. Mm-hmm.
So those whys that come up now, those questions that come up then, take you to a place that cause you to revert back to your adolescent years.
Yeah. What I did was, I literally, this is my first marriage. Prior to that, right before that, I said there's some things that I need to figure out about me before making this commitment to connect with somebody else. And so what I ended up doing, I got a pad, one of those yellow pads. I was vulnerable. I got butt naked in the mirror. Yes, my body was a little tighter then, but I got butt naked in the mirror, and I wrote down what I loved about myself, what I hated about myself, and I wrote down my strengths, and I wrote down my weaknesses, and I had to be totally honest with myself about everything right then and there. And as I began to process things, I just said, God, I need you to help me with this list. Show me, why this, why that, etc., etc. And that's when it took me back, to my childhood, being 12 years old, and again, I was at a family member's house that I was staying with at the time. There was a party going on at that party. The kids you're supposed to, stay upstairs. But I kept being a kid and trying to sneak downstairs to see what's going on because I knew everybody that was there. So I thought, and then finally I went upstairs and I just went on in with the bed because again I was the only child that was there, and the party wasn't for me, and I wasn't invited to the party. I wasn't even supposed to be at the party, and I was upstairs. So I finally dozed off after being nosy. And again, I woke up at 3 something in the morning, and it was 47, and I woke up, that VCR light just flashed, and I still just remember it like that's just something that's key to me. It's dark, the only thing I could see was that light. And when I woke up, somebody was standing on top of me, with their hand on my penis. And it was a man. And I woke up zapping, like, what's going on? Hey,
Natural
and they were like, no, I'm just checking on you. They just sent me up here and check on you to see how you doing. So, and they played this tried to play this mind game. I'm a 12-year-old kid at the time. We think Yeah,
And there's a lot going on in an adolescent at 12 years old because you're right on the brink of preteen.
Exactly. And so, this thing happens to me, and I'm honest enough to say that when I woke up, he had his hands on me, and my penis was erect. So I didn't know if he was about to do something, if he had done something, and that woke me up.
Or even if he was having a wet dream at that point.
But I do know for a fact that I woke up with an erection, and he had his hand on me. And so after what I call talking me down, because I'm going out, talking me down and saying things to me, as it relates to my parents and not wanting them to be involved and to be hurt or et cetera, et cetera. I never said anything about this one incident, but what it did the next morning, when I finally woke up, because I was awake, when I finally dozed off, I woke up the next day. Now in my mind, at 12, I'm saying to myself, wait a minute, this man touched me this way. I know that I like girls, even 12. Does that mean I'm gay? Because this man touched me. Because I didn't have understanding of
and you did not have a choice.
And so I'm saying to myself, I know that I've never liked males, guys. I've always, even at a young age, I've always liked girls. I was very promiscuous with girls, and even older teenagers at the time, even at 12, but it made me question myself. And here's the thing, the crazy part is I've never been homophobic, ever in my life.
You really can't be coming up in church,
ever.
No shade,
ever.
But you really can't be homophobic. And even in the generation that we grew up in, where you really didn't know.
Yeah. It is what it is. And even now, I'm the last person that would be. That's just never been, homophobic has never been an issue for me. What was an issue for me at 12 years old was me saying to myself, does this mean that I'm gay because this man has touched me? Because I didn't have understanding of what that was. So, for me, because I knew what it was that I liked, now I'm out here, 12 years old, trying to chase any kitty cat that I can catch that won't run away from me, say whatever it is I need to say to her to get what it is that I need to feed my ignorance and my altered ego, so that I can prove a point that when it's all over, I go in the bathroom and look at myself in the mirror. Well, I knew I wanted it. I knew I liked this. And so, me doing that became a vicious cycle. It was a vicious cycle to the point where I felt like it was a demon going.
But let me say this. When you're an adolescent or child, when molestation takes place, when sexual abuse takes place, you are a child.
Right.
Your choice was taken.
Yeah, it was.
You were asleep, first of all. Whether you were asleep, it's more true because you were asleep and unaware.
Right.
So you never had a choice. At 12 years old, somebody thought it was okay to touch you in that manner in your sleep for their own personal gratification.
Yeah.
So I know at 12 years old, mentally, you never looked at it like that, but that's helping me understand some things, even just knowing you. Your choice was taken from you. And probably had you felt more comfortable
talking to your parents at that time or someone you trusted, I mean, it probably would have ended in violence, but you would have been told that it's not your fault.
Right. And you just addressed something because I've always had a great line of communication with my parents.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I didn't state that, talk about that incidental situation with them, one was because that would have happened. Mm-hmm. And because I still love and care about the person. When after the fact, I was angry, and I was hurt, and I was disappointed, but I still had love for them. I never said anything to my parents. And I mean, it was over 20 years before I opened my mouth about any of it. And so, but during that time, during the process, because I'm holding it, and that's my root, people would say, well, how could you do this to women? How could you be a woman? How could you, tell them this or tell them that? And don't get me wrong. I still was a good guy.
You were self-medicating through sex.
Yeah, and so what I did, my thing was, shoot, why should I care about them? So and so ain't care about me when he did what he did to me. Same thing. How could you show these drugs out into our community and hurt the community and do damage to the community? I don't give a hell about the community. Why should I? So and so ain't care about me when they did what they did to me. How you shoot out? You're shooting at people, people shooting at you. How you listen, I could care less who gets shot. So and so didn't care about me and my feelings and my well-being.
So everybody had to pay.
Everybody had
for
to pay.
This offense.
Everybody had to pay
for this offense. For you to feel better.
Yeah. And I'm gonna tell you, the sad part about it, what made it even worse, as I got older and transitioned from a teenager to a man, there's this thing that most men, all right, I can tell you this from the get-go. And then if I'm wrong, let me know. Most men that I know, the one thing that we will not allow you to do to us, even a homeless man on the street, is be disrespectful. You're not going to disrespect me. Not even today. I don't care who you are. You can be the Pope. Guess what? I promise you, Brother Pope. I promise you.
Did you say Brother Pope?
You heard what I said. I ain't biting my tongue. I promise you, Brother Mr. Pope. Hello? I promise you. And so, in that transitioning of becoming an adolescent to a teenager to becoming a man, now I'm upset because I realized not only was my choice taken from me, but now I feel like I was disrespected. Somebody got to pay for this. I feel like I was disrespected and you got away with it. So I got to pay for this. And honestly, when I got older and when I became a man, there still was a price that he paid for because I went back to him as a man and dealt with him.
Okay. Did that make you feel better?
No. That's the sad part about it. I didn't even feel, I felt worse afterwards. And I felt worse afterwards because I began maturing and growing spiritually to understanding that really it wasn't him. It was a demonic spirit that was on him that used him, that took away because it never happened again. Never even tried again. It never ever happened again. And for all those years, he tried to come and apologize. He apologized to me. I wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't accept it. I just would not accept it.
I would venture to say that even that was an oath for grace moment. Because a couple of things could have happened in that moment. It could have went further.
Yeah.
Your response could have been different. His motive could have tainted you even more. I would even venture to say that moment was supposed to possibly do something else to you as a man.
Right.
And while it had an adverse reaction, it still didn't accomplish what the enemy set it out to do.
True.
And I honestly believe that.
Yeah, I can see that. He, the enemy tried, but the crazy part is, after maturing in Christ and beginning to have a better understanding, because of course we would never fully understand God, because His ways are not our ways, His thoughts are not our thoughts, and so in the midst of that, I begin, when I look at it, I see that things could have gone differently. But I really believe, this will sound crazy, that situation was supposed to happen so that I could be used on a certain platform to help some other folk, other men, other people that have really gone through that situation and
experienced a lot worse.
Right, to help them get free and delivered. Because what happened was, once I began to share and talk about it, there were so many men and women, but so many men that were crying out and coming to me. And if I'm at a concert, they coming to the altar and they sharing things, and I'm saying to myself, well, I got the nerve to say something. I had the nerve to say something about that. Listening to this.
But for grace, there go I.
Right, exactly. But if it took that to help this get released, then so be it. So be it. You know what's
could be
crazy?
trusted with the experience, and you didn't even realize it.
Yeah.
You saw the dark side of it. You saw the intent behind it. But God was able to use that situation. For lack of a better term, you were a sacrifice.
Yeah. And you know what? This is what's crazy. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because of the way God has and is still and will be using me, I wouldn't even change it. I wouldn't even change it. I believe that even in that, because that wasn't something that I would have did. That incident.
You didn't have a choice.
I didn't have a choice. So I really believe that situation was ordained for my footsteps. I do. And I believe that God knew before He created me, the type of man, the type of person that I would be. So you know what? I can't allow Fruity to go through, to bear what I may put on this one as it relates to this situation. Because he's not going to be able to handle it. His response, if he has to tolerate this over and over and over and over and over again, we're not going to get the ministry out of him that's supposed to come on him.
So the dealing with him years later, as you're venturing into manhood, the dealing with him portion of it didn't give you the freedom or the closure or what you were seeking to get out of that moment. Right. What gave you closure?
What gave me closure, honestly, was him passing away. And I didn't want him to pass away. But him passing away right before they, I've shared this before, but right before they closed the casket, I just, there were some things that I had to get off my chest. And in doing so, I said what I needed to say. And I just said, I forgive you. I forgive you. And when I said I forgive you, even though it was a dead corpse, when I said I forgive you, there was just this freedom, there was this liberty that just, it was like God literally just took pounds of weight off of me, literally just like snatched them off. And I felt like I was hyperventilating, but it was like I was literally able to breathe again. And God just showed me that it wasn't Him that was holding me up, keeping me down. I was keeping myself in bondage. He tried to apologize for 20-some years. He kept coming to me, begging me to come. I wouldn't release him of that guilt. And once I said what I said, it was like I was giving him the power that he didn't even ask for. But once I released it, I felt like, okay, I regained the power and control that I can handle this. Moving forward, I can go and do what it is that I need to do. And once I did that, man, God just allowed my ministry to just literally, it just started. I mean, like crazy. I mean, that it did.
Because you were carrying a weight that wouldn't even allow you to be all that you needed to be, even in that season.
Yeah. And the choir boys, man, they just jumped off, and it got crazy, and I was just like, there was people, there was a liberty that I had, a freedom that I had. Even my presentation of ministry was different. I used to think that it was a little radical and awkward, but God just told me, showed me that it's unique, and that part of my role in ministry as it relates to bringing people to Christ is my transparency. And being open and being honest and being able to meet the people where they are and just tell them the truth. I'm not perfect. I don't get it right all the time, but I am who I am. And my wife, they'll tell you, my motto now is this. I'd rather tell you the truth and hurt your feelings than tell you a lie and hurt your heart. It's easier for you to get over hurt feelings than hurt heart, and you'll still have respect for me. May not like what I say, may not like what my truth is, but you'll appreciate me for it, you'll respect me for it. Because you can't say he lied to you. Okay?
So even with the womanizing, or you feeling like every encounter you had with a woman, another notch on your belt, so to speak, validated you because you were violated. How did you, because I'm sure, even with you saying earlier, you said to women what they wanted to hear or what you felt like they needed to hear to get what you wanted. Even with that being said, how do you, because as we know, sexually, every time we have a sexual encounter and intimacy with a person, there is something spiritually that takes place. It's a transferring of spirits.
Exactly.
And you begin to bear the characteristics and the things that take place spiritually with everybody you sleep with. And then you take on the people that they've slept with. So with all that taking place, there had to be something mentally. Because at this point, I'm going to go ahead and venture to say, you had the Holy Ghost at this point. And the Holy Ghost is a convictor.
Oh, yeah. So what ended up happening, and I spoke about it. I spoke about it at my last concert I did as a celebration for my 30-year ministry. I just talked about this, and going back and forth. And I started telling myself, well, why is this baby mother act like this other girl? So this girl, she started out like my third baby mother. And this girl, what is going on? It was the fact of the transferring spirits and what was taking place. You know, so much of that goes on, and you take on so much. And my mind was going crazy, honestly. And so, you know, the Bible even says the double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You know, so I literally was back and forth, to and fro. I was out of my mind for a season. And the decisions that I was making were not the best decisions. But I came to a place, again, where, as you said, the Holy Ghost came upon me. And I began to feel convicted about those things. And so, and we're not even talking about, okay, the fact that I got 5 children, we're not even talking about the ones.
I was about to go there. This man said he would have had 37 children.
It's the truth.
37
it's the truth.
children.
Yeah.
Good God Almighty.
And I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it at all. But it's my truth. You know. And here's the thing. Some people say, I've even been told this, don't say the number. No, I'm going to say the number. You know why I'm going to say the number? Because there's somebody else out there that's would be in the same situation or even more.
40.
But here's the thing. They won't get saved or walk in what it is that God has for them because they believe in their mind that they can't be used by God because of their past. I'm a living witness that you can be used by God in spite of your past. As a matter of fact, your past.
Or because of your past.
Exactly.
It qualifies you.
Exactly. And so my thing, I look at a lot of my situations now that I've gone through as the fact that, you know what, I really didn't even go through these things for me.
No.
I went through these things for somebody else. Because people were always watching me while I was going through these things, not even knowing. You know, that's one thing, one of the things my wife always says, you know, she said, people are always watching. You never know who's watching.
You never
know who's watching. You know, because a lot of times people come and say, you know what, you blessed with such, or, you know, your wife did such X, Y, Z, or your kids, and I'm saying to myself, you pay attention to that. You never know who's watching. So I got to a point where I was feeling convicted, and those that I could get in touch with, I began to share with them and apologize.
Wow.
You know, as a matter of fact, I invited some of them to concert that I just had, and I openly apologized. Some guys that I had no beefs with, you know, battles with on the street, I invited them. They were there. You know, some of the guys that I dealt with as it relates to drugs, they were there. You know, some of the guys that used to work with me, or work for me, if you will, they were there. And I needed to apologize because what I realized is that I realize this even now more as a man and as a saved man. The choices and decisions that we make not only just affect us, they affect others, the people that we're connected to. And so there were choices that I made as a baby to these females and some of these guys that I guided and led in a negative way, that they are now, they're affected by it, you know? And so unless I say, unless they get to a place being delivered from the things or being able to, you know, say, you know what, I can still be what it is that God has called me to be, you know. I have a responsibility as far as I was concerned to kind of right my wrong, if you will, or at least acknowledge it.
Mm-hmm. That's the first step.
At least acknowledge it.
Because there's so many people that walk around and they feel like even because of how they were handled or what happened to them, that gives them a right.
Let me tell you something. I'll never forget this. I'll never forget this. One time I went to see one of my guys. And I was just going to visit, just see how to check on him, see how I'm around the way, just going through the hood, you know, so I'm going through the trap, just see what's going on with him. I know what they down there doing, but I'm just, you know, hey, you know, just speaking and showing them some love. And this particular day, I needed to get something. So he was like, you good? You need something? I was like, yeah. I said, you know what? I'm going to couple of hours. And I didn't even know enough to make something like that. It might have been like $20, something like that. And I said to him, man, I want you to come to church with me, et cetera, et cetera. And he was like, yo, why you want to do that? And I was like, because I want you to do something different. I believe that, God has something for you. He said, and these were exact words, nigga, I need you to make up your mind. Because you got me out here doing this. I've been doing this for years now. Now you're telling me to come over there and do that? Which one you want me to do? He said, because the truth be told, you got me out here in the streets. You're the one that introduced me to this. That's why I'm doing it now. You changed your mind. You want to go do right and do the God thing. He said, I believe in God and all that. I just ain't in the church. He said, so, plus, if the truth be told, I done seen you struggle more over there with them than you were doing when you was out here with us. Man, do I really want to do that?
That seemeth right to man,
yes.
But the end thereof.
Exactly. So, for me, it's a thing now of even being more of an example, especially for the younger generation, because they're more so the show me generation. Not just talking about you have to show me. They want to see.
Yeah, they don't believe it.
They want to see.
They want to see. What we came up under.
Yeah.
Not do as I do as I say.
Right.
No, that's no longer is. Yeah.
You say don't touch that stove because it's hot. Well, how hot is it? And so I had a responsibility to go back to those same people and at least admit my wrong and try to right my wrong and lead them into the right direction. And a lot of it's worked. It has worked. And some it's still, a pull, but I'm still trying to be that example. But at the end of the day, I am who I am. I am who God called me to be. And some people call me a modern day David. Because again, I'm not a human being in a group of choir boys. I'm still not a church boy. I'm just a real man that loves God. I love God on my heart. But don't test me. And I'm not trying to be Billy.
Right. It's not a threat, but don't.
It's my truth.
Don't test.
It's my truth. That's all. I'm very big on my family, the people I love that are close to me, my friends, and so that I just believe that God has chosen me to be like that modern day, and so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna keep pushing, and trying to win souls the way that He tells me to do.
Because I'm sure it'll be a very unique way, and it's already been unique in nature already. And even this interview, for some reason, and I'm sure it'll come out when we talk to the other choir boys as well, but as we come to the end of this portion of it, the song Real Men Love Jesus First, that song sticks out about you guys and just where we are today with everything that's plaguing the world that is ultimately impacting the church and it's causing a falling away. Real men aren't embracing the church.
Right.
Because the church at this point has become something different.
Yeah, it has.
Speak to the men, the young men, the boys, for lack of a better term, the young fruities, that think it's okay and they're going to be the next Nino Brown or the next Ghost or Tommy, or feel like because of things that have happened to them, in their childhood, in their adolescent years, when they didn't have a choice,
Right.
that have led them to adverse places. Speak to that man. I want you to look at the camera and speak to that man.
Well,
The things that this fruity today would have wanted to say to the fruity of 12 years old, of 9 years old. Speak to that.
well, one of the things I want to say is trust God. That's the first thing. You don't have to wait until you become older to begin to have a relationship with God. One of the things I thank God about my son really loves God. I mean, my son is a church boy. He's not
He's
like his
preaching
father.
now.
Yes, he's preaching, he's playing, music ministry at the church. He's a worship leader as well. Deal with the youth there. But he's a church boy. He loves God. At the same time, don't get it twisted with him either. But I would like for you all to have an understanding that being chosen and being called at an early age and developing a relationship with God is cool. It's cool. It's all right. A lot of times
It's a couple.
we get pressured from homeboys. They get called a church boy. There's nothing wrong with being a church boy at all. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with having a relationship with Christ. Okay? God is the only way. At the end of the day, you're going to die or you're going to prison. Unless God chooses to give you the grace that you need to cover through that time span of you not doing the right thing. The pastor is not the only man in church with power. He's just a pastor. He's the man that's delivering the word. But far too long, we believe that the pastor is the only real man in church, and that he's the only one in church with power. God has given us power. He's equipped us with what it is that we need. What it is that we need so that we can go out and do what it is that he's called us to do and called us to become. You don't have to make the same mistakes that I've made. You don't have to make the same mistakes that your parents have made. Get in the right relationship with God. Choose Jesus. Choose him. Choose him today. He is, listen to me, he is the only way. My steps are already ordered by God. I'm here straight away. But whatever it is that God has called you to be, you will become. Because God is not a man that he should lie. So you're either going to become it by kicking and screaming, or you'll just willfully go and do what it is that he's called you to do. Don't ignore the signs, because God will send you signs. Don't ignore the signs. I ask God to show me things. Don't read so deep with me, God. Make them as elementary and clear and simple as possible so that I don't get confused. Because a lot of times we operate on our will versus God's will. And when you do that, you limit your blessings. A lot of times we do things to position ourselves because we want the house or we want the car. And so God says, okay, here's the house, here's the car. But that wasn't God's will. God wants you to position yourself so that he can give you a house, the car, the health, the job, the family, the money, all of those things. But when you do what you want to do, and it's not the will of God, you risk the full benefit of what it is that God has for you. It's easy. Listen, it's easy to get saved. You can even get saved too while you're watching the show. All you have to do is believe in your heart, confess with your mouth that Jesus Christ died for our sins. It's that simple. Not only did he die, but that he's coming back again. He's coming back. That was no magic tricks. I didn't ask you for any money. I didn't ask for a $50 line. It's that simple. It's that easy. I didn't ask you to come to the front of the TV show. It's that easy. All you have to do is believe. Right where you are. I dare you try. I tell people this all the time. Try Jesus. Try for 30 days. If you don't like him, give him back. I've never met anybody that's given him back yet. Now, you may get upset and walk away from him, but once you receive him, he never leaves you. I received Christ at an early age. So you know what? God was with me all the time. Even in my mess, he was right there. All the time. He says in his word, he would never leave you, nor would he forsake you. That's the truth. God is not a man, he shall lie. Or whatever God has called you to be, you shall be, you will be, you just ought to be. Because his word can't return to him. Get saved. It's easy. You think you're living? Let me tell you something. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought I was living. I really, and I was doing some things, but I promise you, I thought I was living. Now, I'm living. I promise you. Today, oh, you have no idea. I'm living. You might not be able to see it. You might not be able to tell.
Oh, he living.
But I promise you, today, I'm living. All praise and glory be to God. Because of his grace and his mercy and his favor. Man, his favor ain't fair, but I take it every time. Every time.
Is the Choir Boys album still available?
Yes.
Digitally?
Yes.
Or wherever?
Yes. Yes.
I admonish you guys, if you don't already own it, especially the men, go download it, purchase it. Outside of men, real men love Jesus. There's a song that the Choir Boys sing, and this can apply to man, woman, boy, girl. And the song is called Furnace. And the words of the song say, I've been in the furnace too long. Pressure's so strong.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
Oh Lord, please save me. You have an opportunity to get out of the furnace.
Yeah.
It says, I'm going crazy. Oh Lord, please save me. Because I've been in the furnace too long. But you don't have to be. You don't have to be. I thank every listener, every watcher. I pray that this series helps somebody. Free somebody. Deliver somebody. Give somebody a way out. Somebody will watch this and say, I know now, regardless of the decisions I've made, the choices, the circumstances, the things that happened to me that I didn't ask for, that I didn't want, and even the ones that I willfully did, the grace of God abides, and it covers, and it's available. I want you guys to stay tuned for more of Old for Grace. Anything but a choir boy. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.
With Miss Ericka J. Woke up feeling good, but I wanna change. I do. Nothing wrong with the old, but I need something new. Oh yeah. I jump into my car and I turn on the radio. What is this? And then I hear, let's get in tune. In the mix, in the know, on the show you will hear new and exciting things, yeah. Everything with Miss Ericka J is a guaranteed winner. Don't touch the dial if you know what's good for you. I kept it